Hi, everybody. I'm going to pause the recording for a minute. Hi, everybody. It's Sam Bennett from therealsambennett.com, and welcome to this, our weekly Facebook Live. Lenny's asking, how are the cats? They're delightful. Thank you. Yeah, we adopted two black kitties, a brother and sister, who are more or less identical. Hi, Giovanni. Great to see you. In the fall, they are now a year old. In fact, this is probably their birthday week. I could check their records. It's right, early April was when they were born, and they have brought a ton of joy and love to our house. So if you would like some love and joy, I highly recommend adopt two kittens, but get two so they can, be together. Great, I got top of the hour. Let's do our breathing. Let's center in. This is not an obligation. This is not a part of your work. This is a moment for you to engage with yourself in a deeper way so that you can move yourself into the person that you really want to celebrate being, so that you can set a better example for the people in your life. We learn best by example. So when you are at your best, you are teaching and sharing with others. So let's lean into that best self right now. Let your belly go really poochy soft, drop your shoulders. Here's one now. Oh, look. Want to say hi? Quick hello? A quick hello from, which one's this? This is Archie. You can tell because Archie has a slightly wonky eye. Can you show them your face? Okay. So handsome. He's the Clark Gable of kitties. Yes, happy birthday to the kitties. Thank you. Okay. So we're dropping our belly, we're dropping our shoulders, we're softening our throat. We're loosening our hands. We're feeling a little space. We all know that atoms and the things that make up things that are solid are actually more space than they are solid. So let's feel the spaciousness in ourselves. Release some of the density, some of the fog. And you ready? Take off my glasses for this. Let's inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ah, thank you. Thank you for doing that with me. Hi, Lucy. Hi, Julie. Great to see you. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about some of that stuff that has been on your list forever. Forever. What has been on your list forever? Go ahead and type in it. I'm curious. I have some ideas. I mean, I know what some of them are because some of you have told me. Oh, and I wanted to say a special greeting. Hi to those of you who are here live, but also hi to those of you who are watching the recording or maybe watching the recording on repeat. We post these on our private Facebook page, The Secrets of Highly Productive People. And I think, Veronica, they go on the on our YouTube channel too. I think, I'm pretty sure they do. Yeah, so you can find this on YouTube as well. Or if there's somebody you want to share them with or something, that's always a thrill. Write a book or 3. Yes, exactly. Good. Creating a podcast and a YouTube channel. Yes, yes, I do have a YouTube channel. I have several major home renovations. Yes, yes. What else? Clearing out the closet, anybody? Or the storage or the basement or the garage or the storage unit or the whatever. Start a business. Yep. Maybe you've got some stuff you want to sell on eBay or on Etsy. Minor home renovations, making an office in my basement, cleaning the den. Yes, yes, yes. Revising your resume, going to the doctor or the dentist or a specialist. Oh, good. Veronica just put up our YouTube channel, a link to our YouTube channel. Okay. So yes, sell on eBay and Etsy. Right. Okay. So let's get into this a little bit. Organizing all my notes and notebooks. Right. Okay. So we all have these, right? Lose 10 pounds, throw a party, reach out to that friend, do this thing, do that thing. And these ideas, they circulate. There's been some research on thought, in as much as we know what a thought is. And it seems like we have between 60 and 90,000 thoughts a day, and most of them are the same ones we had yesterday. Okay. And a lot of them are self-critical. Update my Etsy shop. Right, exactly. So there's a couple of things that are happening here. One is all of these things are procrastination means your project is too big. Procrastination often means that your project is too big, because these things are all multiple steps, right? We don't just rehab the house, right? We don't just, here's me back again. You don't just sell on eBay and Etsy. You got to find the thing and research the pricing and take the picture and do the video and make sure it looks nice and write a compelling, caption for it, and then monitor it. And then when they buy it, you got to ship it and put it out. Like, it's a bunch of steps, right? So part of the problem is you just go into instant overwhelm, right? Oh, I want to write a book. How do I even do that? Organize all my notes and notebooks. That's thousands of pages of writing, I'll bet, right? That's a lot. So some of the problem is just that you go into instant overwhelm. And especially for highly creative people, this is a problem, right? Because you can see it in your head, right? Oh, here comes the other one. You can see the end result. You see the big, beautiful, three-dimensionalized, thing done. And you're like, yes, that's what I want. But then you immediately go, I don't even know how to start with that, right? So, and your brain is so great at solving problems. So great at solving problems. That's all it wants to do for you, is solve problems, answer questions and solve problems. And it's so good at doing that until there's too many unknowns or too many variables. So, put an office in the basement. That's a lot of unknowns and variables right away. So it really gums up the works, right? Your poor brain is like, I get right? You want to see that again? That's what your brain is doing. I don't know what to do with that. That's too much for me. So that's one problem. Here's the other problem, though, that you may not be thinking about, which is your brain cannot tell the difference between fantasy and reality, right? Your brain can't tell the difference between something that's just happening up here in your mind and something that's really happening in the world. This is why we cry at sad movies, right? Because even as much as you tell yourself, this is only a movie, this isn't really happening, this is an actor on a set who's just saying words, you're still crying. It has to do with our mirror neurons. I don't know. Anyway, so even when you give yourself actual time and space to think about this and go like, okay, I really do want to write a book. I really do. I'm gonna start making an outline. I'm gonna make a plan to write. I'm gonna start putting dates in my calendar to write. I'm gonna call my friend who's written a book and get her advice. Yep, I've got all these things that I want to do to get that book done, because it really matters to me. Here's the problem when you make a plan. Your brain doesn't know the difference between you making the plan and you executing the plan. So the minute you make that list, the minute you create those little check boxes, your brain's like, woo, good job. We are sexy. Yeah, we got a plan now. I'm going on an early lunch. Because you get the endorphin rush from making the plan. You don't get the endorphin rush from actually doing the thing. Doing the thing is hard work. There's no rush there. It's just hard work, right? So this is the reason, that the New Year's resolutions never work, right? Because everybody goes like, yep, I'm going to start going to work. I'm going to start going to the gym 4 days a week. That's what I'm going to do. And your brain goes, yeah, we got this. And checks it off the list. As far as your brain is concerned, like, we've done it. We've gone, even though you haven't, right? Art before housework, people, just a reminder. Lori says, I totally understand that brain, right? So, and so this is the big problem with goal setting, right? The other sort of tertiary problem that I know some of you suffer from is, even when it's something you really want to do, and even when it's something that's not that hard or complicated, and you make a plan, and you really feel good about the plan, your inner teenager kicks in and is like, I don't want to, and you can't make me. Right? Your inner teenager is just like, I'm not having any of it. And she will block you, right? The little anti-authoritarian streak in you will prevent you from doing the thing that you know you want most, right? Julie says, this is brilliant. Why, thank you. Paige says, oh my God, yes, the rebel, right? Yep, exactly. Gail says, this is great shit. I'm addicted to the endorphins of list making. Right, and I'm a big list maker. I mean, my whole life happens on these Levenger legal pads, right? So I'm not saying don't make lists. I'm just saying don't let list making trick you into believing that you have done the thing that you say you want to do. So I have a very unusual solution for you. Amy says she traps me on the couch every night, the inner teenager who never wants to go to bed. Yes. Lainey says, a rebel with a plan. Exactly. Paige says, LOL, I thought I was the only one who did this. Right. Yeah, it would be good in the world if they gave you a little more training on how your brain actually functions. Because, it's doing its best for you all the time. All right, you ready for the completely unusual, counterintuitive, you've probably never heard this advice before. Bit of advice from the productivity expert of the universe. You ready? Stop it. Stop thinking about it. Stop talking about it. Stop giving it any energy whatsoever. That thought pops up in your head of like, oh, I should write a book. Like you slam the door in its face. Nope, not doing it. I'm not doing it. And you can't make me. And this is going to take a little effort because you have that thought on a loop, right? It's one of those 60 to 90,000 thoughts a day that just pop up in there, and you give it the same little time, your little mental worry beads. Oh yes, I should do that, and I should do that, and I can't believe I haven't done it yet, and I feel terrible about not having done it, and whatever stories you have around what it means about you that you haven't done these things. Just knock it off. Just put up a big wall in between you and it. And here's why this is going to work. Because first of all, it obviously doesn't actually need to be done. Right? You've gone this long without doing it. There's no law against having an overcrowded closet or an unwritten book or an unrehabbed basement. Ultimately there will be consequences, but you've put it off this long. It's probably not that urgent. And it has either just not been the right time, or it's not really the right project. Because you've done tons of other stuff, hard stuff, complicated stuff, challenging stuff that really caused you to grow as a person. So quit torturing yourself about this thing that you are obviously not doing to begin with. And now here's what happens. Is either you start to get comfortable with dropping the idea and just saying, you know what, it is what it is. Would I love to live in a world in which I had an organized closet? Sure. Would I love to live in a world in which I had an office in the basement? Yeah. Am I willing to do what it takes to get there? Not today. Not today. And what I notice starts happening for me in my life is I catch myself doing it. No sooner have I told myself, I'm not going to clean those dishes. I'm not doing that today. Those dishes can sit. I don't care. And somehow 3 minutes later, I am standing at the sink doing dishes. La, la, happy as clam. I thought I wasn't going to do these. Oh, surprise. Right? I'm not going to write that book. I'm not writing the book. I'm not going to do it. Not interested. Don't care. Somebody else can write the book. I don't care. And the next thing I know, I'm waking up at 4 a.m. with ideas for the book. Having to keep a scribble pad by my bed because I have so many ideas. Right? So here's the strategy. The next time you have the thought of like, oh, I really should lose 10 pounds, go to the doctor, call this person, revise my resume, do this thing, do that thing. Think, nope, I'm not going to do it. I've thought it. Now I'm not going to do it. It's like should. I've said the word should. That means no. Or you can spend 15 minutes on it right that second, right that very moment. Oh God, that closet. Do you want to go in there right now and spend 5 minutes, even 2 minutes? You know, look at 3 pieces of clothing, get rid of one of them. You can either do it right in that moment or drop it. Say, nope, I will go to my grave as the woman with the messy closet. There are worse things in life, believe me. This also obviously circumnavigates your inner teenager, and it actually sort of activates your inner teenager towards you, because the minute you tell her, nope, we're not going to do it, she's like, what if I want to? I can do it. I can write a book if I want to. You can't stop me, right? So how does all this land with you? How do you think this might play out for you? I'm so curious. And if you're here with us in Zoom, you can type into the chat. If you are in Facebook, you can type into the comments. Rusty says, I've been decluttering my space so I can focus on my art, and now I have piles of clutter to go through months later. Yeah. You know, I think if you've sorted it once and you haven't looked at it in months, I think you can probably just get rid of all that stuff. And, you know, you can even hire a couple people. There's an app called TaskRabbit. You can just hire someone to come over to your house and take the boxes away. Paige says, so brilliant. I've never figured out how to successfully partner with my inner teen. Yeah, exactly. So just, you know, bribery can work. But yeah, mostly just, nope, we're not going to do it. I'm not going to let you, not going to happen. And then see what happens, right? Yeah, because this idea of like, oh, I've got to sort through it again. No, you don't. You didn't need it all the time I was sitting there as clutter. You haven't needed it all this time after you've, you know, sorted it. It's fine, you know. Even if you know, like, oh, well, what if I need it later? If you need it later, you can find something like it later. You're a very resourceful person. And what you really need right now is the space. So yeah. Or just promise yourself you're not going to do it. Nope, there it is. That's as much decluttering as I'm doing. It moved from that pile to that pile, and now I'm done. It's just going to stay just like that. End of story. Right? Sounds deliciously devious. I think I'd like to give it a try, or say, no, not doing this, or just do it for 15 minutes, or not. Exactly. Anna says, I love this. I think I've actually already started this process, as I've been giving myself the freedom to not work on my projects. Yeah, yeah. Paige is saying her inner teenager is a powerhouse, but it usually goes against what I want. Right, right. So try a little reverse psychology on her. See if that works. I can't promise anything, you know. Sandy says, LOL, Sam's on to my decluttering strategy. Yeah, yeah, one initial sort is all you need. I mean, I gave myself a really hard time for years about all the piles of paper, because like I said, everything for me happens on legal pads. Everything for me is about piles of paper. And I used to give myself a really hard time about this, you know, there would usually be a stack of, you know, probably 2 feet or so of paper. And I was like, I've got to get a better system. I've got to file better, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, like a lot of highly creative people, for me, if it goes in a drawer, it dies. So I realized 2 things. One is there was the paper that was in flow and the paper that was not in flow. So that was stuff that just needed to be filed or needed to be kept for whatever reason. So I started sorting that way, like, okay, this can be filed. And now I have the giant pile of stuff that needs to be filed, and then the stuff that I'm currently actually working on. And about once a quarter, once every 6 months, maybe, I go through the giant pile of things that needs to be filed, put those in the filing drawers, and we start all over again. Is it a perfect system? No. Would a magazine want to take a picture of this system? No. Does it work for me? Yes. Let's see. Pamela says, I like it. It goes around my critic and helps me be in the moment. If I thought of it 3 times, whoops, where's this going? Sorry, I can't. This chat gets away from me. Come on, little scrolling thingy. Okay. Is this one of the, okay, here we go. All right, now I've got it. Yes, giving yourself permission to not work on your projects. Absolutely. Yes, if I thought of it 3 times, then just do it. Yes, I do say that. I say that all the time. If you think it 3 times, just do it. Just do it. Julie says, interesting about how the brain gets the endorphin rush when you plan. Good to be aware of that. I felt great when I planned to get my second COVID booster, so I'll be comfortable to party, but I still haven't done it. Exactly. Exactly. Your brain's like, oh, yay, it just, you literally mentally check it off the list. It's like, I got a plan. That's it. I'm done. Amy says, I've done something similar lately. My knee had been hurting me a lot earlier this year. I've had to let go of doing a lot, and I gave my permission to not do or just do one or two things. So it took me a week to load the dishwasher, but eventually I did, and paper plates worked in the meantime. Exactly. Like, who are we trying to impress here, right? Rusty says, thank you. Ivy says, really resonating with this. Love this. Excellent. Good. So let's practice right now. Let's have the thought that you habitually have about the thing that you've been putting off forever, right? Let's just rehearse, right? Oh, I should really lose that weight. I should really fix up that basement. I should really do, and then what do we say? Nope. Nope, not doing it. Not interested, don't care. Shutting the door, moving on. Next. Oh, I just got a sort of a rush of like space in my brain. Oh, yes, I'm not doing that. Awesome. Just sit quietly here and enjoy this feeling of not punishing myself for not doing the thing that I wasn't doing to begin with. How about that? Amy says, my boyfriend and I have noticed how when we think or talk about doing something, it checks it off the list. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, and you notice this in your friends, right? I mean, don't you have friends that like every time you talk to them, they're like, no, really, I'm really doing this. I'm 100%, I'm so committed. I'm really doing this. For years, they've been saying this. I'm really going to write that book. I'm going to quit this job. I know I am. I'm this week. This is my week. But they don't. Right? And you get tired of hearing it. I'm sure they get tired of saying it. So don't be that guy. Don't talk about it. Don't say it. Don't give it any energy at all until you've done it or you've forgotten that it ever needed to be done to begin with, right? Anna says, I'm really starting to think that the projects I feel I should do are not really the ones I want to do. That is so true. You know, I taught a class 100 years ago called Shadow Goals. And it was about all those list of should things that get us, that we distract ourselves with, oh, I really should do this thing. And staying engaged with this thing that we don't really care about, don't really want to do, isn't really the best thing for us, removes our focus from the sunshine goals, from the things that we really should do and should be moving us forward. I mean, the main thing is you can trust yourselves, you guys. You can trust yourself. If you're not doing a thing, it probably doesn't need to be done. And I know we were all raised to be good and obedient and stuff, but you know, we all know people who don't play by the rules. There are people who haven't paid their taxes in 10 years. There's people who, you know, don't write thank you notes. There's people who, you know, like do all the things that we think, oh, I could never do that. You know, you've managed your life fine. Perfectly? No. Who does it perfectly? You've done it fine. So trust yourself that you'll continue to do it fine, and that this other stuff that you're not doing is because it doesn't need to be done. It's not really that, it's not a crisis, right? Or spend 15 minutes on it right this very second, right? Rusty says, space creates mental clarity. It does. It's lovely in the quiet there, right? Once you stop that habitual chatter. And I think sometimes we just think about these things because we're bored and, you know, our brain's like, oh, here, play with this toy, you know, play with these worry beads. For years, I did that whenever I, you know, started thinking about like my weight or what kind of shape I was in. And I finally just started to think, Samantha, you must have something more interesting to think about. Like really, we're down to what size clothing you're wearing, how incredibly dull. Move on, think about something else, right? When I realized I felt done just making lists and thought I was utterly alone in this, I stopped making lists. Lots of things are falling by the wayside. Sometimes it's a real problem. Well, you know, you can think of it, you know, for me, my lists are action prompts, right? And they're the things that have to get done. And what I start to notice, and this is the reason the real life planner, you too can have your very own real life planner. You know, part of the daily practice is writing down what the thing is, how much time you think it's going to take, because that's That's a real key too. Like if you cannot estimate how much time something's going to take, that means it's too big, right? So time, if there's any money involved coming in or going out. And then on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your inclination? Like how much do you actually want to do the actual thing? Not have the result of the actual thing, do the actual thing. Because you can want to have a decluttered closet and not want to declutter your closet, which says, oh, maybe I should delegate this. Maybe I should pay someone. Maybe I should get a buddy. Maybe I should whatever. And it's an important point of inquiry when you find yourself with something that you really want to do, you've got a strong inclination and you're not doing it. It keeps moving over on the list every day, every day, every day. That's a really important piece of information. And again, either it's just not the right time, in that mysterious right time thing. I mean, again, on my long list of questions for God, like, what is that? You know, I've had an idea for years that I thought was so good, but I knew it wasn't the right time for that one. Like I wasn't punishing myself for not doing it because I knew. I was like, this is a really good idea, but it needs the right moment. And now is the right moment, right? So it's fine to have things that just stay in the rock tumbler for a really long time. And again, just do 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes. And again, you know what I'm going to say, you will be shocked and amazed at how much you can get done in 15 minutes. Really amazed, right? And, you know, Paige, this thing about things falling by the wayside, and sometimes it's a real problem. You know, I wonder what else is going on there. I mean, things falling by the wayside because they're just not appropriate to your life anymore. Is it a real problem for you, or is it a real problem for other people? Are they mad because you're not acting like the way you used to and doing all the things for them that you used to do? You know, are you creating a new life with some new boundaries and new priorities? Because you're allowed to do that. And I don't know you, I don't know the circumstances of your life. But I think it's a really good point of inquiry. And if there's stuff that's like, wow, there's some really serious consequences to the stuff falling off the list, serious financial consequences, serious health consequences, you know, then again, let's think of a new strategy. Because, you know, the not doing it is not working. That's my final thought on the matter. The not doing it is not working. So, or it is working. The not doing it is working. But yeah, it's a beautiful thing to just pattern interrupt, right? You start to have that same thought you have all the time and you just go, nope, I'm not thinking that. We're not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not going. I don't care. Everybody can fuck the fuck off because I'm not doing it. Right? And then see what happens. Because it may be that the next voice you hear says, I really want to, like right now, I really want to. You go, okay, great. Well, let's do it right now. Because desire is the gas in your tank. Right? And this executive functioning system, that is not driving the train nearly as much as we like to think it is. It's your desire and your heart and your spirit. And you are co-creating this reality with God to experience your life. Right? We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. The purpose of your life is to experience your life. The purpose of your life is to be present for your life. And when you die, which you 100% will, we all will, you know, they're not going to be standing there at your graveside going, lovely woman, terrible closets. Right? No one cares. No one cares. So those are my thoughts for you. Thank you so much for being here with me. It's always a joy. I'm very flattered that you take this time to be with me. Please invite friends if you find it useful, or like I said, send them to the YouTube channel or to our Facebook group. And I would love for y'all to chime in on the Facebook page and let me know, what are you gonna not think about? Or what have you actually dove in and spent? Again, doesn't have to be 15 minutes, could be 3, could be 10, could be 12, whatever you got. whatever you got. And from me and the birthday kitties, thank you so much for being here. Veronica, thank you so much for being here. You are, as ever, my stalwart team leader. Couldn't do it without you. And yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, good. So helpful. Oh, good. I love to help. That makes me happy. Let's do one more breath, shall we? Let's inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for doing this with me. Oh, happy Easter, happy Passover.